Hey. Welcome to the Really Charlie podcast here on StreamYard, to be viewed later on Anchor, Spotify, and YouTube. Today's guest is going to be Ominique Garner of AV Rose Farms, local farming, and we're going to talk about the culture of cannabis, and just talking about things you should know and learn, because a lot of people still kind of foggy and maybe not aware of some of the benefits, being personal, medical reasons or even financial. It's definitely the thing that's countries steering towards, and now our state is steering towards it. So things are moving along with cannabis, and so if you're a local farmer, grower, things are getting better for us. So we'll have our guest come on very shortly, and she's just going to give us her knowledge, her know-how, and try to teach us about cannabis. And it's going to be kind of a series where we'll have some other guests come on, hopefully next week and the week after, and maybe into the fourth week. We'll try to have different segments of it, different parts of it, to where we listen and learn about the cannabis industry and what they have to offer. So it's definitely something that comes up in every, political debate, community discussions, community groups, social groups, and it's definitely on the table. And so what I want to do is just kind of, open the discussion here on the Really Charlie podcast, where we can actually, have an open discussion as friends, as listeners, as viewers, and kind of go back and forth. To me, it's a pro thing. It's not con. It's not nothing. It's not too many things I could say, con about, the industry and the culture. It's definitely, I feel, is a plus. So what are your feelings about it? What are your feelings about it coming into your city or town, or within your family? It's beneficial medically. I have some friends and family that are definitely benefiting from it, and actually becoming healthier with different situations. It may be a coping thing, and it kind of eases them and allows them to cope on a daily basis, So, I try to just dim this light a little bit here. I just try to bring out these points on the podcast, on different podcasts, that we can have an open discussion about. And this is something I've been waiting to talk about for a while, and really got interested into cannabis when it was becoming an issue within our city, and getting things passed, and even on the state level, it's kind of was all at the same time. The state was looking into it, the city was. So how do you feel about it? Feel free. You can email me at any time at the Really Charlie podcast at gmail.com. If there's any particular topic, subjects you maybe even guests that you want on the show, just send me a message or just tune into one of the podcasts and kind of leave it in the comment section. We did that during the last podcast with Rico Hernandez, and we lined up a few guests already. And that's what I'm about. That's what I'm trying to do is highlight some things, some, people and bring it to the podcast other than the normal news media, news outlets, whether it's radio or newspaper. Sometimes those things are just not reaching or getting to the subject matter that you want to hear about. They just want to fluff up situations, good or bad. And here on the podcast, we just want to kind of highlight the things that we're interested in, or see the people that we're interested in talking about. We had Coach Hamlet, Wayne Hamlet of New Bedford High School. We had him on there. We had Coach Stephen Gardner. Those are the things that people want to talk about, things that are normal. And let's see, we have future guests, Bella Montero on the 28th, an author of the book called Who Am I? Fascinating book. Still reading it, still enjoying it, and I can't wait to talk to her one-on-one, and that's going to be fascinating. So her book is on Amazon. I posted it on my Facebook page. There's a link, you can get it on Kindle, get a paperback book, whatever is your choice. My choice is to have the Kindle version and then actually keep the paperback on my shelf in the house. Sometimes it's good just to grab that solid hard copy and read it. Later on this evening, we'll have Raymond Ramus of Cosplay, costume designer. Definitely cream of the crop, top-notch dude. He's been doing this for a very, very long time. And so when I see what's materializing with him, I'm very proud of him and very, very, very fortunate to have him as a friend. So he'll be on at 6:00, and we're going to talk about, his adventures into, cosplay and highlight some of the things he's doing. Tomorrow, Sunday, we have Dr. Caroline Oliveira. We're going to talk about, the coronavirus vaccination and why minority communities should be getting it. And, but that's her expertise, and we're going to have her come on. And very, 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 very educational person that I've known for years, and I can't wait to have her on. Let's see. Let's talk about one more guest. Would be Tara Vargas. She'll be on. Watson, sorry. She'll be on next week. And another advocate for domestic violence, and also an artist. So we're going to bring her on and talk to her. So the guests are lining up. And we wouldn't mind having you on here. So if you have the subject matter that appeals, well, it doesn't have to appeal, It's the Really Charlie podcast. We're going to talk about what you really want to talk about. So get in touch with me. Let's see, we got a comment here from a friend, Dawn. Let's see. Just check it out, Don. It's a good idea, but I don't support it. If you are the product and see the destruction of drugs, how can one say one is better than the other? Drug destruction is drug destruction. This is the problem to me. We make excuses and alter to accommodate. Some things we need to address and stand by beliefs to fight against what is hurting and killing people. Hard to text my words and get my point out. If I fight against drugs and its destruction, how can I say drugs are bad, but this one is not so bad? Well, Don, I can invite you. Feel free. If you want to come on right now, I can give you an invite, through Facebook. I'll send it to the messenger, and that way you can come on. But just let me know. Or you can just do it through your comments, You said, I want to talk about it. Yeah, and that's what we're here for, to talk about it. No person, no one person is, opinion is better than the next, or the right or wrong choice, So talking about it is very, very important. And that way you come to some kind of reasoning or some kind of, you get to look at the other person on the other side and how they're viewing things. So, Ominique, just click on the link that I sent you through Messenger, and then we'll get on through the StreamYard. So just click on that link. And Don, I understand. All right, you're not dressed for video, but can do voice. Let's see how we can do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get in touch with you, Don, through my phone. Just call me directly, and then we can have you come on. We can have you play through my phone, and we'll go through there. I'll put you on speaker. All right. Okay, Don, I send you my number. Just give me a call. We'll answer it, and then we'll have you on speaker, just to kind of, give us your input. Hello.
Hi, Charlie. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
All right. Thanks for coming on, joining us.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I like to, definitely hear what you have to say. And so hopefully everyone can hear you. I think we can. So how do you feel?
So, I don't know the answers. I'm trying to figure it out as I go along. I just know what my passion inside of me tells me and what I'm trying to figure out. I'm a product of heroin addiction.
Yes.
I've seen that destruction in my home. Everything that goes along with it, the suppression, domestic violence, everything. And I rose above that. I survived that. And so, I do my part every day to make sure that the people that I care about didn't die in vain from that. My home was impacted so deeply by heroin. I mean, we lost generations of people.
True.
It's still people are still struggling with that. You know, mothers are still burying their kids and doing all kinds of things that are, you know, not acceptable to me. So, you know, I fight against that. So for me, I struggle with the idea of cannabis being readily available and put out there for people, because my thoughts on that are, you know, if you're fighting against addiction and drugs and you stand for that, like, how do you say, well, you know, heroin's the evil one, but, you know, marijuana's not so bad, or cannabis isn't so bad? I don't think you can. I think if you make a stand against something, you make a stand. And so all of it's bad and you fight against it. And then you start to explore and see how these things go hand in hand with all kinds of other things, suppression, racism, everything. And so it's a big thing to tackle and try to understand. And so, you know, and then you want to see people come above and survive these things. And so, you know, people need to stop making excuses. So, in other words, what I'm trying to say is, if you are a mother and you've buried one child and now your grandchildren are involved in drugs, you know, how do you make a stand to want to do better for them? How can you say, well, you know, I don't want you doing this, but it's okay if you go get some cannabis and do all this? So I don't understand the answers, but that's how I'm, you know, trying to understand it. And then I think, too, we have an obligation to the children to educate and teach. So how do you tell kids, don't smoke, don't do this, but no, this is okay. If this is, you know, it's okay, it's here, it's acceptable. I can't explain it to you why this is bad and this isn't. So I just think that it's confusing, and it's not something that is being approached appropriately. I also believe that when we implement things that affect people's lives in such a way, that we should be obligated to make sure that when we start that process and put that out there, that we're educating people fully. So there isn't the confusion, there isn't this, there isn't that. But I don't necessarily think that we do that. I think that we put things out there and we go along as we go. With that, I'm not ignorant. I understand things are out there. I'm not mightier than thou and think that, oh my God, and this, I'm not. And I understand different strokes for different folks. And I also understand that people are gonna, you know, do what they do. But, you know, I don't want cannabis facilities in, you know, in the downtown areas where kids have to pass every day to go to school. I want, if that's going to be the case, and we're going to have things like that in places, then I want them to be appropriately placed. And I want them to have the same rules, and I want them to have the same everything as everybody else. I don't prefer special treatment. I think what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I don't think that, you know, when you decide to put something somewhere, that, or you're a part of something, or you support something, and, you know, all this stuff, then, you know, they should get special treatment and get special placement because, you know, they're the thing and people want that, or they're telling people that their communities need that because, you know, they need the funds. Drug money is drug money as far as I'm concerned. You know, that's how I look at it, because again, I'm a product of it. So that's kind of my thoughts on the matter.
Okay.
And then of course, you know, I don't know. How do you deal with something that the state's saying okay, but the federal government's saying it's not? It's illegal. Isn't that a problem for us here in America? I mean, there's no consistency. There's no rules across the board. There's no, you know, like, this is how things are. You have states doing what they want. You have government telling you one thing. There's that confusion again. There's that door, opening that door for all kinds of things. So this is a big issue. You know, I understand people are like, it's just cannabis. It helps. It's physical. It's this. It's that. Look, then that's the case. Then put it into a pill. I don't know. Give it to people that way. I don't know. I don't know the answers. I'm trying to figure it out. But
Okay.
I'm gonna. I just can't say that one. That's okay and another drug is not. And then people say, well, it doesn't. It's not like other things. Well, I don't know. I mean, people who are methamphetamine addicts that are up for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, they get cannabis or weed to like bring themselves down from the high so they can sleep. So I don't know. How can you say like one doesn't go with the other? How can you just? I don't understand it all. I don't understand it all, and I think people that have their lives have been destroyed by addiction. They've buried family members and stuff like that. I think you have to make a stand and say, no, that's that. Drugs are drugs, and one's not better than the other. And I have to take this stand because I don't want to bury another child. I don't want nothing bad to happen to the next generation.
All right, Dawn. Well, what we're gonna do is my guest is on the air, so we're gonna talk to her. And I totally respect what you're saying, and so just stay with us, continue to listen, and continue to send the comments in. All right.
Sure.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your call. All right. That was someone giving a comment and a concern. And Ominique, how you doing? I'm so happy to see you. And glad we're connected now. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad we're connected. Thank you for having me on.
Okay.
I feel overwhelmed by her comments. It reminds me of the whole reefer. It reminds me of reefer madness, and we have to understand this plant is medical. This is a medicine. This is a plant that comes from the earth. This isn't a drug. And this plant helps people that are suffering with addiction, and how we can't just follow what we're hearing. We have to go by experience. Listen to people with lived experience. We have to look up stuff. We have to use research to back the things that we're saying. I started using cannabis at a young age. At 14 years old, I had polyps that were abnormal. Were sent to Dana-Farber, and I have a rare genetic condition, and I can't take most medications that other people can take. I also have a blood disorder, so cannabis is my medicine, and it's something that was referred to me from one of my doctors, actually. And when I was 14 years old, my blood doctor actually told my mother, "Hey, you should try this. She's losing weight. She's about like 80 pounds, and we have to see what's going to help her." Help her eat, so help her physically, her body, and so this plant is an amazing plant, and they only they criminalize the plant, they demonize the plant to demonize Black and poor people, to make profits off of these people, and they're making billions off this, and still people are locked out of this industry, and people are still locked up for selling this plant, for using it, for processing it. So we really have to just step back and unlearn all the things that people told us and relearn, re-educate ourselves. This plant is an amazing plant. Marijuana is the hemp plant, and it's the same. This plant is the same thing, it's just a THC difference in it. So therefore, this plant was so major before our animals. It was what was fed to our cows, our horses, our we own a whole hemp crop. Homes are now being built with this material from this plant. So we just be aware of all the amazing things that the plant does, and there's research backing it that it shows, like when a dispensary opens up in a neighborhood that has high drug use, that then the numbers drop majorly. And same thing when it comes to people that are struggling with alcohol addiction. Cannabis helps with that. It's shown to help with people that are struggling, that used to be addicted and struggling with dope. All types of things that cannabis is helpful with, mushrooms and other herbs as well.
What
that's just my little comment back. Yeah.
All right. I there's no doubt in my mind that your intellect and is definitely there, and what I like about this particular setup in this podcast is that actually, can you turn the volume down on your end, just so it'll come in a little bit clearer. But what I like about this podcast is that we can have you there, we can have you here, we can definitely get that education out, because as a grower, as an advocate, we also got to actually show some kind of or produce some kind of education where some people may not be educated on the benefits of it, and you got to pass that along. So personally, it has helped you. Personally, it has helped you. And as far as a community, let's just go on the economic side of it. How does it help our community?
Our community right now, there's opportunity for our community to get into industry through the social equity program, where this Cannabis Control Commission set up vendors, and there's a whole training that help you. There's different tracks that you could get on. So whether you want to be a business owner, or you want to be on the track, meaning you don't, but you're working with the plant is a part of your business. Say you have a yoga studio, and then you're selling creams that are infused with cannabis, or a massage studio, different things, or maybe a barber shop. So there's so many different opportunities, and also with that being said, there's a process of like licensing, and you could have, as well as like, we need developers, we need contractors, we need lawyers, so all types of different people. There's different ways that you could get into this industry, but really there hasn't been many. I don't think many are aware of the social equity program, and we really need it to represent our community. So if you have interest in this, if you have interest in writing, if you're a researcher, if you do data, even if you are a PR person, whatever you do, journalist, you could get into this industry. So I would say you could log on to the Cannabis Control Commission and sign up to the social equity program, or you could just jump into the community, the grassroots community, follow us on Facebook, and that's how you can really know what's going on when it's coming to like the legislation and the policies that are, affecting us while we're trying to get into this industry. So like, for instance, right now we just have there's a delivery operator license, and then there's a courier license. There was a big lawsuit from the CDA to stop the delivery operator license, which allows us to have our own store and sell, and we have a white product and sell to the client. This was they looked at this as a threat, and they tried the CCC in order to stop it, in order to stop our 3-year. There's a 3-year exclusivity period for EEs and SEs. So that's why it's important, if you have been affected by, the war on drugs, if you live in this neighborhood, if you are a Black individual, Latinx, poor individual, and, your family hasn't been affected by this, if you live in New Bedford, you qualify. Please sign up for the social equity program and get involved. So basically, they wanted to start a 3-year exclusivity period in order to do the delivery operator license or courier license. So they ended up dropping the lawsuit due to the pressure of community. There was a boycott. We were doing a picket, and that's all what drawed the, do this pledge, this equity pledge. And it really just, the equity pledge is just a commitment to the community, allowing all the businesses to like really, because the CPA or the organization that
Omni, our connection's kind of poor. I don't know what's going on. We definitely want to get that material out there. If you're able to add those different websites to the comment section, either now or later, please add to it. The comment here, let's just go to some of these comments, because it kind of they're kind of important, you know. So let's start here. So the earth don't light up their plants on fire. I agree with the caller, and yes, it's a miracle plant. The smoking it up needs control, no consideration of the youth and the addicts was given to this open door. Also, people have records for being black, gay, alcoholic, etc. Cannabis is no different than any other law or time that was illegal. You know, it's kind of it's you know, don't where how do you fight?
Are they saying
You know,
for the youth?
go say that again. All right. We're going to try to get a better connection. Stand by 1 second here. Let's give this a shot here. All right. Yeah, it's still got an echo to it. Go ahead.
So he was saying that, like, how do we protect the youth?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
All right, let me just try to read it again.
I think.
Go ahead, Omni.
I was gonna say, I think there's nothing to protect. This plant isn't a dangerous plant. It's nothing to protect. I think we have to destigmatize the plant, decriminalize it. It's not, you know, we have liquor stores that are closer to the barrier that comes up, our dispensary or whatever it is when they're not open the doors. The restriction is not even signs. We can't even promote it on the outside, and children can't even come in. But yeah, people are looking at this plant as if it's, in fact, this plant isn't a gateway. This plant actually helps people get off of addiction, and there's research showing it. So when I get in contact on Facebook, I can find the research, but you could also do it too. Google it, and I can share it with you. But there's nothing to protect a child from it. I started using this at 14, I feel, and it's all about how you use it. You know, sometimes there's different ways to use a plant too, which doesn't get you high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're growing cannabis and say you cut out all the trims, and then right now I cut up the trims, I clean them, I cut up the trims, and I use them for smoothie. Therefore, I'm getting all the medical benefits from the plant without getting a psychiatric effect.
Okay.
So therefore, the health animals before, I think it's more about just educating.
All right. Well, education is very, very important. And you get education with a lot of things. You know, when the schools were telling you say no to drugs, they were giving you education. When the school was giving you or telling you, you know, watch out and you know, don't drink and drive, so on, they were giving you education. So, and there's no doubt in my mind that the education is out there. You know, it's clearly out there. And then at some points, you know, go ahead.
It's the education. There's education on saying, like, all right, not to do these things, like putting the plant as well as like in a category with like other, you know, substances like alcohol or whatever else, right? And that's what we kind of got to get away from. We got to educate on like the truth of the plant, the benefits of the plant. You know what I mean? All the different ways that you could use the plant. Like we could grow the plant. If people want to grow, we could pass out seeds and we could grow the plant together. And the benefits of, all right, when you grow the plant, all right, you don't have to always smoke it. All right. If we can make a rub out of this plant, you know what I mean? If we could use the other pieces feed to your animal or use for your own smoothie or juice it or whatever we want to do. There's so many parts to it and we could use every single part of the plant. So, just I guess the knowledge, yeah, we just need more education on the benefits of it rather than the stigmas and all the bad stuff that we usually hear about the plant.
Yeah.
And I think when we're more open about it, like I want to say, like in my household, we were always open about cannabis because I used it at a young age. So therefore, it was always medicine to me. And my nephew was born and he was around. He sees it. I'm going to smoke. I'm rolling up because I can't eat without smoking. I would be nauseous and I will only be able to eat a small amount. And I'm already really thin. So the point is, I smoke whatever my nephew knows. He sees it. He doesn't touch it. He knows that's mine. Therefore, we make edibles. He knows, are those adult edibles or are those, you know what I mean? We got to think about it. We don't treat liquor like that. At the end of the day, we have liquor in our fridge, and if we tell the kids that that's alcohol. We have the bottles that look like sodas, the liquor bottles that also look like soda bottles, and we just tell them that's a soda bottle, that's a liquor. They ask. You just gotta, communicate more.
I agree. Now, your local farm is is it something that people can go to and other than sometimes there's people that are just can't get on technically, as far as the internet and trying to get educated through Google or so on and so forth. So there has to be a structure, a facility that they can go to get educated. Do you know of any of these facilities? A senior person goes to a senior center just to get educated. Go ahead.
But we're setting up our farm in order to do that now. So with COVID and everything, we just need before we had our porta potties, but now we're working on building compost porta potties, outhouse compost. But the point is we have to have certain things to cope. So having a room for people to social distance, we have to make sure that we have a map out where the balance, so we have to have a specific order the porta potty, and we have to worry about water. So right now we're doing everything naturally. We're watering with our hands. So we're working on getting our water now. Or some type of hand system. Maybe we're gonna work it out. But definitely be having classes this spring. So yeah, it definitely will be something that people get out.
Okay.
Posted on our Facebook page.
That's very.
If people ever, have questions.
Just gonna copy something here. Get some information out there in our comment section here. First and foremost, I just want to kind of step back and I appreciate your time. I really do. And I'm glad that you came on it. For one, I'm a person that needs to be more educated in what's going on. And actually, I'm more on the side of supporting it only because I've seen what it's done for a few of my family members. And it's definitely something that was needed on their part, other than filling a script all the time at Walgreens or something, and that stuff eating up their inside. So, but
I like it. It's amazing just how you have to hold the whole thing. So like I had polyps that were abnormal, and I had to go back and get them checked like every 3 years, and they never came back again. And I think, I smoke cannabis, I eat it, and the different ways that you eat it and process it. So just thinking of it, I've known my uncle who's had cancer too, and how cannabis also helped him. But it's not about, this isn't just go and smoke the plant, it's gone. You have to, all right, you're taking oil, and then you're also not eating all those sugars, and you're changing your whole diet. So yeah, I'm excited to
okay, just Okay.
Oh, is my service bad?
Yeah, he came back on. He got off, came back on. I'm good. You try to reconnect. Hold on 1 second here. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah. So, Omni, what we're gonna do is
Is it better?
I just
Sorry.
it's all right. Sometimes we when we're doing a podcast, kind of you're in the car, it's mobily. We definitely need to
It's
make
on the farm and the service is bad.
yeah. So, but
I
it
just
don't.
moved. Sorry.
It's all right. You know that we have this is one part of maybe 3 or 4 parts that we're going to have. So as we bring other people to this podcast within the next 4 weeks, there's also going to be I'll stay connected with you to also what we'll do is we're going to add you to that podcast. So the message that you're bringing forward, is there something we can bring back next week? As I talk to, folks and as I've been with you and others, associated with you, what we're going to do is we'll also add you to that. So when like say, John Doe comes on, I'm going to actually invite you to the podcast too, so we can continue to get this message out and have this dialect between you. All right. So it's let me see. Is there anything you want to add while we're
Yeah. I wanted to say, just with there's a lot going on right now, within the cannabis industry, and I just want everyone to just pay attention and try to get in and pay attention to the impact. There was like 89 bills that actually just went through yesterday, and a few of them worrisome, and we just got to be on top of them. So like there's one, Hannah came just forward. It's a drug task force bill. And there's also a bill that's going to stop medical patients from being allowed to consume in their own home, and then another bill allow stopping them from being able to grow in their own home. So these are just that we're going to be on top of, and follow us on Facebook. And thank you, Charlie, for having me on, and I'm grateful to join on again. As well as you guys should support, talk to your state councilors. I know New Bedford is against delivery, and it's kind of not something that can be stopped. You guys already allow recreational. The community already voted for this, and it only makes sense that someone from should be able to open up and do delivery in New Bedford, and that money come back to the community as well. So that's what I'm really pushing for. I don't know anyone that's pushing to do delivery in New Bedford, but I think that's an amazing thing. And if we can find someone and someone that's actually from New Bedford, I'm rooting for it. We're also grateful for Tree Bear, who signed on to our pledge. And we're also going to reach out to, there's one other medical recreational business in New Bedford that's open currently. We're going to reach out to them to sign our equity pledge as well. But just please follow us, stay updated, reach out to your local cannabis cultivator or dispensary, and ask them where they stand when it comes to their community impact plan, where they stand when it comes to their diversity plan, and this equity pledge as well.
Okay. Well, as we have this podcast, what I want you to do is kind of add those things, in the comment section later on. No matter what it is, just add it. Put the link there, and that helps out with the educational piece and awareness. So, I'm going to talk to you later this week, so we can get our next guest coming on for next week at some point, whether it's during the week or on the weekend. So keep in touch. You have my number, and I'm always there for you if you need me.
Thank you.
All right. God bless. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. It's a smart young lady and smart woman. So I'm going to continue to read all these comments and definitely address them. She mentioned about some bills that are coming forward. And so here's a comment I want to read. It says, exactly, Charlie, my generation has showed a commercial with a fried egg. And I think a lot, nowhere my brain would be fried. What changed? And to the disregard that education is to disrespect my age group of beliefs, make it like a pharmacy item. Why can a federally illegal drug like this get to be operative in the face of our federal laws? How can banks take money from federally illegal drugs? See, this is how we compromise our beliefs and values, but we want America to be great again. America is great. Well, on a federal level, things are going to change, and they were on its way to change since probably, as far as I know, since 2018. And eventually all the states in the country will end up legalizing this. So the process has been coming, and federal people are actually reviewing it and making a decision on it. So, but all in all, it always goes to ballot and we vote on it. And voting is key with a lot of issues. And that's why it's important to register to vote. So these things that are deep to your heart, whether you're just a deep concern about it, voting is very, very important. As a comment from Denise, we need to have these farmers and distributors accountable for educating, just like we did with alcohol and with the SG and cigarettes. It's about the equity and delivery, but by they use miracle drugs. The word is recreational. I know it's mislabeled, but it is also not making a positive breakthrough. We know it's a plant and does wonders. We just don't want Woodstock here. I understand. Just keep in mind that the marijuana is definitely something that you have to consume within a facility, within a home. It's not something that you do out in public. And I honestly believe that I don't want people to doing things outside. We do have people, we have others that we have to concern ourselves with, whether it's young, it's particularly the youth. And so always safety, regardless of what comes our way, we have to think safety first, whether it's inside a body or outside a body. Everyone, thank you. I'm going to continue to add some comments to this, some links, so on and so forth. And you feel free to add a link here or there, to the comment section if you want, whether it's pro or con about, cannabis. And this will clearly be a 4-part, it's a series, and we're going to bring 4 different guests on here to kind of go back and forth. So feel free to chime in whenever you can. We've got about 10 more minutes. And always tune into the Really Charlie podcast on StreamYard, Anchor, Spotify, Facebook, and YouTube as we bring our guests forward. And you can also email me at reallycharliepodcast@gmail.com. reallycharliepodcast@gmail.com. All right, folks. Got another guest coming on at 6 p.m. today. Please tune in and help me out. You know, if you're on listening, and others will. If you click on the link and share, that will bring other folks to the arena. So 6 p.m. we will have Raymond Ramus of Cosplay on. That will be my next guest at 6 p.m. Let me end with this. From my guest she got on, and they only made it medical to lock up people while making money. They know it was always a medical effects. Now those same people that are locked up people are making money and making the laws for the recreational industry. And it's so true. As they seem to lock up people, men and women, for the marijuana, now those same people are kind of buying and purchasing licensing, profiting over and over and over again. Whether it's out on the West Coast, you know, they definitely were hypocritical with their stances way back when. People have served years and years in prison, and now you see those same lawmakers profiting off the benefits of the money of cannabis. Stopping and telling us farmers how to grow. It's so true. You know, they're trying to put some restrictions on it. Farming industry needs our help. You know, they're doing a lot of things. Farmer and patient know best. It's so true. Personal experience is the best teacher sometimes. So, you know, Ominique, you are definitely someone I'm very, very happy to meet. And we're going to continue to get the education out there. You're going to educate me. I like the dialogue. I like the back and forth. I like the tennis match. That's something I really strive for. I really like that, you know, where people are just kind of throwing things back and forth, you know, for one, it just keeps us balanced. It keeps us as a balance on either side of the court, either side of the argument. You know, you got to have some balance. You got to have some empathy, some understanding of, you know, the person on the other side. So I love you guys. And please keep on viewing, keep on listening. View the links on the website, on the comment section, you know, get a little education there and actually respond back and forth. Your responses may lead to another response, another podcast. So as you respond to the comments, it always opens up to another podcast. And if you want to talk about anything, please get in touch with me. Come back to get through, you know, my messaging and so on and so forth, and get in touch with me. I'm easy. I'm always on social media, so reach out to me. All right. As I always end, mask those beautiful faces, hand sanitize and wash your hands. Stay safe, everybody. Stay tuned. Come back to me at 6 p.m. on the Really Charlie podcast. Love you guys. Take care.